when you realize that time doesn't flow like a river, but is actually a vast ocean containing every moment within it. You begin to feel that invisible door at your fingertips. Just 21 seconds. That's all you need to silence the noise in your mind and switch to pure observer mode. It's no coincidence that you're watching this video right now. It's a cosmic bridge built between your frequency signature and this information in the infinite pool of possibilities of the quantum field. If you're ready, on the threshold of the fifth dimension, we will reweave the fabric of reality. Stitch by stitch, reality is merely a cloud of possibilities unless we observe it, and the infinite potential hidden within this cloud only takes shape with the touch of your conscious gaze. When you notice the silent emptiness hidden in the incessant ticking of an old clock, you deeply understand that your life isn't just an old, scratched record forgotten on dusty shelves, but rather the leading role in a vast script that can be rewritten at any moment. Most of us, without even realizing it, are trapped between the moldy memories of the past and the anxieties of the yet-to-be-born future, holding the bars of that invisible prison we call the observer's loop with our own hands. Yet the fifth dimension is not a physical space with coordinates, but a higher level of consciousness where the mind is freed from linear time. The only key to reaching this level is to leave aside the endless chaos, noise, and societal expectations of the outside world and awaken the meta-observer within yourself, the pure witness who sees things as they are. You are not merely a temporary traveler in this body of flesh and bone. You are the very ancient light that creates the path, shapes the earth with every step, and places the stars in their proper places with every glance. When you step through this door of awareness, you will face the reality that you are no longer a victim of events, but the master of possibilities. What will be discovered in that silent room is that time doesn't flow like a river in only one direction, but rather every moment, every choice, and every emotion already exists in the quantum realm as a wave of possibility. We only invite the reality we tune our frequency to into our physical world. If you wake up every morning with the same anxieties, experience the same conflicts with the same people, and struggle within the same restrictive economic cycles, this is not your fate, but simply a consequence of your observer's lens constantly focused on the same point. The fascinating observer effect of quantum physics clearly tells us that when you change your perspective, what you are looking at inevitably begins to change as well. Standing on the threshold of the fifth dimension means taking on this radical responsibility. That sacred moment, when you accept that there is no one to blame outside, that everything is part of that vast reflection mechanism within your inner world, is actually the first second of your freedom. As you walk through the dark corridors of your mind, you must realize that fear was merely a low vibration, and this vibration, in the fertile soil of the quantum field, only yielded more fearful fruits. However, in those 21 seconds of absolute silence, when you can bring your mind to the point of nothingness, even for a moment, you will see that all the doors that were closed until that moment were never actually locked. You simply lack the courage to push them open. The rules of this cosmic game don't operate with linear logic as you might think, but through the convergence of frequencies. Therefore, if you wish to access the peace, abundance, and love of that fifth dimension, you must first become that state itself. Clothe your soul in that feeling like a garment, and wait for the quantum field to respond to your new frequency signature. Remember that the universe communicates not with words, but with the electromagnetic waves you emit. And as you read these lines, you are actually reconstructing your own reality, shedding the heavy and cumbersome shells of your old identity. When you discover the eternity hidden in the ticking of the clock, you will realize that time is merely an illusion, and pain is only a state of resistance. When you stop resisting, when you cease rowing against the current and surrender yourself to the compassionate embrace of that boundless ocean, that miraculous transformation we call a quantum leap occurs spontaneously, because the fifth dimension is the realm of allowing, not forcing, of trusting, not controlling. Breaking the observer cycle means stepping out of those same thought tunnels you enter every day and noticing the infinity of the sky. It is an awareness so profound that once you taste it, you can never return to your old, limited, and fearful little world. Now, take a deep breath and feel yourself standing on that threshold. The door before you is neither wood nor iron. It is made of your intention and the brilliance of your consciousness. Your thoughts are like electromagnetic storms echoing in the boundless silence of the universe. They are frequency signatures rising from your soul and striking the fabric of space-time. And you should know that each signature, like a magnet, begins to attract a reality perfectly suited to it within the limitless pool of possibilities of the quantum field. The quantum field is not concerned with what you desire or what you demand with words. It is concerned with what you are, with the vibrational level at which you breathe. If you have made that deep restlessness, that chronic feeling of inadequacy, a habit of life, your inner guidance system and magnetic field will repeatedly lead you back to those familiar, gray, and cyclical experience points, to realign with this cosmic flow, to tune the rusted strings of your soul, and to join the wave of collective consciousness evolution enveloping our entire planet from the forefront. Subscribe to this frequency now, not just to this digital channel. Take a step into that vast and silent revolution within yourself, into the ancient voice of your true self, and know that change. It's not about waiting for the outside world, people, or systems to miraculously fix themselves, but about firmly fixing your inner frequency to that level of peace and abundance you so desperately desire and dream of. Every crystallized thought forms a pattern in your energy body before transforming into the solid matter of the physical world. These patterns become either your prison or your wings. That's why the crystallization of frequency means that critical threshold in the process of the invisible becoming visible. Every morning when you wake up and put on that old worn-out identity that no longer fits you, you send the message to the universe, I'm still the same. The quantum field rewards this loyalty by continuing to present you with the same events, the same blockages, and the same faces. However, the high-frequency vibration of the fifth dimension demands that you abandon this false identity, that you burn the pages of that old story and make room for the fresh, pure energy of what has yet to be written. If you are waiting for a miracle in your life, know that miracles are not gifts from the outside. It is the alignment of the inner frequency with the mathematical probability that this miracle can occur. So, if you want love, you must first become that gentle, encompassing vibration of love. If you want abundance, you must first break free from the restrictive shackles of scarcity consciousness and embrace that expanded state of mind that trusts in the boundless generosity of the universe. This is not daydreaming or empty hope. It is the very essence of the immense physics that explains how subatomic particles transform into matter through your observation. Every particle under the influence of the observer is shaped by the sharp light of your intention. The clearer and more free from doubt your intention is, the faster and more impactful the crystallization of your frequency and reality will be. Most people set intentions but sow seeds of fear within them. Every time you say, "What if it doesn't work?" you throw sand into that immense quantum engine, and your frequency instantly reverts to those low, muddy vibrations. However, the consciousness of the fifth dimension is an unshakable state of knowing. It is the serenity of a gardener who is certain that the seed, not yet visible to the eye, has sprouted beneath the soil. The vast mirror of the quantum field is tasked with reflecting your inner landscape to the outside world. If you fill that inner orchestra with chaotic, discordant, and noisy sounds, your life will be equally complex and exhausting. But when you sit in that conductor's chair, raise the silver scepter of your intention, and let every cell of your being vibrate with the joy of the highest possibility, the entire universe will line up to accompany your new symphony. This crystallization process is an artistic act requiring patience and awareness. Just as a sculptor sees the hidden figure within the marble, you too must see your own higher potential within this dense physical world and sculpt away all the old beliefs, those "I can't," those "I don't deserve it," that stand in its way. Once your frequency begins to rise, events at the old frequency can no longer reach you. It's as if you've changed a radio channel. Those old melancholic songs give way to a joyful, exuberant, and inspiring broadcast. This is your quantum leap, your awakening, and your first passage through that fifth dimensional portal. Here, time is no longer a monster chasing you, but like flexible Play-Doh at your command. As you anchor your frequency to this new level, You will be amazed at how the people around you, the events, and even your physical health miraculously adapt to this new rhythm, because you are no longer a victim of the quantum field. You are a part of that supreme creative power, consciously dancing within that field, recreating reality with every breath. Have you ever wondered why it's exactly 21 seconds? Because it's precisely during this time that your mind's neuronal networks and the flexible fabric of the quantum field reach that critical threshold where they begin to accept a new possibility as reality. When you fill this time with pure awareness, you're not just dreaming. You're writing new code into that vast data repository at the heart of the universe. Most people spend their lives dreaming of changes that will take years. But for a quantum leap, you don't need years. Just an intense moment when you can step outside of that linear time. Every time you enter that dark room in your mind during those 21 seconds, you must hold on with unwavering faith to the feeling of the reality you wish to be. Because this isn't a wish. It's the process of solidifying a possibility in the quantum field through the observer effect. That is, collapsing the wave function and transforming it into a physical experience. When you experience that brief moment with pure awareness, without any doubt, and without being trapped by the limiting logic of the question, how will it happen? The timeless gate of the fifth dimension opens, and a frequency leap occurs between different timelines. This is more than belief. It is a state of knowing. That sacred and unique moment when you begin to beat in rhythm with the universe's hidden orchestra, when the part merges with the whole, when you sense the scent of that new reality for 21 seconds, feel its warmth on your skin, and spread the feeling of gratitude it creates to your very cells. The quantum field perceives this message as an already realized event and begins to reorganize the physical world according to this new data. When you realize that time is an illusion and that every second you are actually choosing one of billions of different parallel realities, the power of those 21 seconds will shake you, because during that time, you suspend the heavy and cumbersome frequency of your old identity and open space for the purest, most unprocessed potential of your soul. Just think. Your mind is like a projector, and that 21-second focus is like freezing a frame on a film strip and projecting it onto a giant screen. If you hesitate during this projection, the image blurs. But if you remain clear, reality crystallizes so sharply that you enter a process of irreversible awakening. The energy of the fifth dimension doesn't have a linear speed. It's instantaneous and only depends on your frequency alignment. So when you silence that noisy radio in your mind for 21 seconds and focus only on that high-frequency broadcast, you are actually opening a special tunnel for yourself in the malleable structure of space-time. During this leap, you may feel a shiver in your body, an expansion in your mind, or an indescribable spaciousness in your heart. Each of these is a biological sign that you no longer belong to your old world, that limited third-dimensional perception, that you have stepped into the fertile and infinite layers of the quantum field. Many of us, instead of using this power, wait for external events to change us. But a quantum leap is not an explosion emanating from the outside in, but from your deep silence outwards, and the fuse of this explosion is lit by just 21 seconds of absolute focus. You should see this period not just as a technique, but as the most intimate form of communication you have with the universe, because in those moments, the veil between you and creation thins so much that the distance between your intention and manifestation disappears. That's why, for 21 seconds, look at the world only through the eyes of the person you want to be. Absorb that person's peace and hear that person's voice in your mind, because that possibility is already swimming in the quantum ocean. All you have to do is match your frequency with that wave and allow it to wash ashore. Showing impatience in this process is like pulling up a fresh sapling by its roots to see if it has grown. However, a consciousness that makes a quantum leap acts with a wisdom that knows the seed has already turned into a tree underground and tastes its fruit even before it is on the branch. When you use this 21-second gateway as a daily ritual, you deactivate the old survival mechanisms in your brain and replace them with a creative and expansive operating system. This radically changes not only your reactions to events, but also the very nature of the events you encounter. You begin to see coincidences as synchronicities, and every person and opportunity you encounter as a reflection of these 21-second quantum seals. Never forget that the universe abhors a vacuum, And when you release your old anxieties in that short but intense period and replace them with the brilliant intentions of the fifth dimension, the entire cosmic mechanism sets in motion to fill that void in your favor. This is not magic. This is your innate right to sovereignty that you have forgotten to use. In other words, you are both the observer of your own reality and the magical touch that transforms that observation into matter. Many of us wonder why our lives never change, why we keep hitting the same emotional blockages. In reality, we are serving the same energy patterns into the quantum field every day. Like a needle on a scratched record spinning in the same hole while waiting for a new melody is a form of resistance that goes against the laws of the universe. You must know that the energy of the fifth dimension requires transcending the limiting boundaries of linear time and embracing the infinity of now from the very heart. You must leave your old identity, those heavy burdens that no longer serve you, and that dusty past that tells you who you are, behind in the harbor, so that your ship can sail to those new, undiscovered continents, that ocean of infinite possibilities. Because what we call manifestation is not creating something out of nothing. It is the art of making a possibility already floating in the quantum ocean, visible with your own frequency. Most people spend their lives trying to change the outside world. But like a true alchemist, we know that unless the silver light of inner intention shines, the mirror outside will never reflect a different image. Therefore, breaking the cycles means suspending those automatic reactions you give to events and settling into that 1 second void hidden within the moment. If you are ready for this massive spiritual transformation and choose to be the architect of your own destiny, to completely break free from that old victim mentality, right here and now, seal this energy and write these words with great determination in the comments below. My awakening has begun. This simple yet powerful sentence is a formal declaration of intent that you leave in the quantum field. You are not writing these words on a digital page. You are actually engraving them as a frequency seal into the deep layers of your consciousness and the infinite data bank of the universe. After this sealing process, nothing can remain the same. Because the moment your intention becomes clear and your tongue and heart unite on the same frequency, the quantum field begins to invite the most suitable synchronicities, doors, and people into your life. The manifestation process is not about wanting something very much. It is about knowing that it is already a part of you and breathing with the peace that this knowledge provides. When you reach this elevated point of observation, the suffocating cycles of your old life begin to seem like mere dreams. And with every breath, you feel the immense power of rebuilding your own reality. Transitioning between timelines isn't a miracle. It's simply a matter of aligning your frequency with that new line. If you want to move to the abundance line, send gratitude for what you have as a signal into the quantum field. If you want a loving reality, first awaken the fountain of compassion within your own heart. Because the universe doesn't just fill the voids within you with external objects, it simply expands the fullness within you outwards. Cycles can only be broken by the sharp sword of awareness. So the moment you say, I am breaking this cycle now and choosing a different response, instead of, it's the same thing happening again, that's when your quantum leap occurs. The old habits and the voices calling you back that will appear during this process are merely cosmic echoes testing how faithful you are to this new frequency. Ignoring them and continuing on your path with that 1 second burst of focus, you will watch in amazement as those dreams that once seemed impossible transform one by one into tangible reality. The gates of the fifth dimension cannot be forced open. They only turn spontaneously with the touch of a harmonious key. And that key is that pure, unquestioning, and unconditional trust in your heart. You are no longer just a traveler on this path. You are the path itself, and the ground you tread upon is shaped by your intention with every step. Therefore, do not be afraid to break the cycles. Instead, savor the immense void outside those cycles, for all creation is born from that sacred void. Now surrender yourself to the calm yet powerful wave of this awareness. Your intention is sealed, your frequency is crystallized, and the door to the highest possibilities is now wide open for you. Continue to shine with your light and this newly discovered power. For the universe awaits your new story with great excitement. Life is a vast and magnificent cosmic orchestra, where trillions of possibilities vibrate simultaneously, each adding their own unique note. You must know that when you don't tune your own instrument, your mind and heart, the sounds rising from your life are nothing but chaotic noise. Quantum awareness teaches you not how to hold that magnificent instrument, but how to free that ancient and silenced music within you. How to unite with the perfect rhythm of the universe. Often you blame the attitudes of people in the outside world, the misfortunes that befall you, or the closed doors. However, viewed from that high observation point of the fifth dimension, every event and every person outside is merely a reflection of your inner frequency. These are echoes of the electromagnetic waves you emit, and in fact, cosmic mirrors showing you your inner world. Trying to erase the mirror to change the image within it is a futile endeavor. Trying to change the results in the external world without changing your internal frequency is equally exhausting and impossible. Therefore, true transformation occurs when the one in front of the mirror, that is, yourself, awakens and begins to sing your high-pitched song. When you step into those timeless corridors of the fifth dimension, you realize that no note is accidental. Each encounter actually occurs in perfect mathematical harmony with your current vibrational level. This awareness doesn't give you the false security of being a victim, but the shocking and immense responsibility of being a creator. On that boundless stage of the quantum field, you are both the leading actor, the composer, and the absolute observer watching that magnificent work with awe. If life feels like a drama right now, know that it's only because of your old habit of those low-frequency notes. And in just 21 seconds of absolute silence, you can push aside those dusty notes in your mind and make room for the pure and brilliant composition of your soul. In this cosmic orchestra, no note is superfluous. Every pain and difficulty you experience is actually a tuning process designed to stretch the strings of your instrument and bring you to that highest sound. When you discover that silent center within yourself, the storms outside can no longer disrupt your music. On the contrary, you learn to incorporate even the roar of those storms as rhythmic elements into your symphony, because you are no longer a self confined within the narrow confines of a limited identity. You are a reflection of that collective consciousness breathing in sync with the entire universe. The compassionate emptiness of the quantum field hears your every intention when you say, "I am ready." All the members of the orchestra shift their positions to align with your new and luminous theme. Synchronicities increase, miracles become commonplace, and those once seemingly impossible doors begin to open spontaneously. Remember that you are here to add your own unique and brilliant color to that cosmic music. This melody will only become fully audible when you pass through that 2-1 second quantum gate. Now silence the noisy applause in your mind and listen only to the peaceful sound beating deep within your heart. That sound whispers to you every moment who you are and what you are truly capable of. When you hear this whisper, no cycle can imprison you anymore, because you are now the conductor of your own orchestra. With the wand of intention in your hand, you direct only light, only love, and only the magnificence of that highest timeline. With this immense awareness, continue to sing your song from the brightest curtain of your soul. When your music changes, the entire universe will begin to vibrate with you in a more magnificent way. Now you know that being able to remain in a state of pure consciousness for just 21 seconds, escaping the noisy corridors of your mind and reaching the calmest shores of your soul, is far more valuable than years of futile effort. Because this brief period is that sacred alchemical moment when space-time warps and you reshape the very fabric of your reality. This video reached you because your soul has begun to break free from those old, narrow, and now unsuitable confines. The infinite quantum field of the universe has opened all the doors of possibility to celebrate your new awakening. This state of awakening, which we call the dawn of consciousness, is not like the sun illuminating the physical world. It is the unquenchable light within you burning away all the dark illusions outside, leaving only the reflections of your highest version. The shadows that once frightened you now become mere evidence of how bright your light is. And with each breath, you become more aware of your divine power and creative potential. The boundless ocean of the quantum field lies before you like a mirror. You now know exactly which face to look into that mirror with, which emotion to cast into those endless waters. This is not an end. Rather, it is the most magnificent dawn of your awakening to your true identity, your supreme self, never tainted and never restricted. You are no longer merely a spectator reading a story written by others. You are the courageous writer holding the quantum ink, shaping every second with your own intentions. Therefore, never neglect to trust in the power of 21 seconds, to cut through the cycles with your sword of high awareness, and to let the most beautiful note of the cosmic orchestra echo from your heart. When you sit on the throne of observer, you no longer allow events in the outside world to control you. Instead, you become the wise alchemist who manages the immense energy behind those events and transforms everything for your own good. Instead of wondering what miracles the day holds for you each morning when you wake up, you carry within you the childlike joy of inviting those miracles with your own frequency. Remember that you are not a tiny point in this universe. You are that vast and unique awareness that carries the entire universe within itself. Therefore, remain with your light. Shine with that awareness that vibrates every cell of your being, and remember every moment that you are, in fact, the universe itself that you observe. Everything, absolutely everything, is reborn with your initial 21-second resolve. The infinite peace and abundance of the fifth dimension become your natural habitat. Once you pass through that door, the narrow labyrinths of the third dimension you left behind will seem like only a distant memory. Because once your soul expands, you can never again confine it to its old, small boxes. The profound peace brought by this awakening will be your greatest protector. As part of that great leap in collective consciousness, each of your individual transformations strengthens that sacred wave of light that actually facilitates the awakening of thousands of other souls. When you are free, the world is free. When you are love, the hard ice of hatred melts. With the dawn, all the pains of that old night will cease, giving way to that fresh, hopeful, and all-encompassing quantum morning. You are the first light of this morning, the first sound of this new world, and the most vivid witness to this infinite love. There is nothing left to fear, for fear was merely a fog stemming from forgetting who you are, and now that fog has completely dissipated. What remains is only that clear, bright, and all-encompassing absolute being. Now savor this awakening and the dawn of this consciousness. May your path be filled with light, and your heart with that highest frequency, because you are now awake, and this dream is now entirely under your control. If you wish to walk this journey of awakening with us, and keep this high frequency alive at all times, you can join this collective consciousness wave by subscribing to our channel. Let's seal this energy door together. In which emotion is the highest possibility hidden for you? Write, "I am an ocean of infinite possibilities," in the comments, and allow this intention to crystallize in the quantum realm.